Hello and welcome back. So, in this episode, I'm gonna go more into how is humans multidimensional. The reason why I'm doing this episode is because of one of your comments. I had somebody commenting that in the first episode they didn't really understand what I was trying to say. So I'm gonna try to go more deeply into it and try to explain it better. So the question was, how are we as human multidimensional? Now I prepared some images for this as well, but images are kind of a little bit primitive. So I hope that's fine as well because I did them myself. So trying to explain it better for you and make it more understandable. Let's play our little intro for a second so we know what we're doing. We are accessing multidimensional perception. Okay. So let's start from this one. When we look at ourselves and we look at other people, what we see is this image. See, we see a person. So if we see only way we can kind of see some other parts of ourselves through mirror as well, but this is a so knowingly 1, 2, 3-dimensional image of people that we're used to seeing, and that's what we consider humans are. So, and that's where most of people knowledge just stops, and that's where they live for the rest of their life, just knowing that this is a human, and this is the interaction with the human, and that's the way everything goes. But now we're going to the deeper levels, deeper dimensions of the human to understand that same image that we saw. And this is the part that we don't see it with an eye, but if we have certain knowledge, we have that knowledge that human ourselves is also this. So if you've done any anatomy classes in school, preschool, that's where we learn it in really elementary things. We should know, most of us do know, that this is what is under the skin. This is what is inside of us. So we don't see it with an eye, but we know it with our knowledge. So that's part of a human as well. And if we go deeper, and that's where the question was, how are we multidimensional? So dimensions go layers by layers. So it goes smaller, 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 or it go bigger, bigger, bigger. It's also about the point of view. I did one of the videos, I believe it's video number 3, where you're gonna see the point of view of dimensions. So it depends where you're looking from and how you're looking from. So let me show you the previous two again. Previous two dimensions of human. So we go this one. Then we go this one. And now, when we go under the microscope, we're gonna see all kinds of parts like this. We're gonna see the first one is the skin. So just within your skin, you already have so many little dimensions and particles, and then organs. All your organs are separately different dimensions, and more even thousands of times of under microscopic images we see bacteria, microorganisms, and everything like that. So microorganisms, to understand, by what we know right now, there should be there what they what kind of, I don't know, science, or how do you say it? They're saying there's hundreds of trillions different microorganisms inside of humans. So just to imagine, we can't even imagine that number, but those microorganisms are even not as human parts are about, let me see that number, uh 30 trillion, or human cells. And there's extra microbes, extra bacteria, viruses, everything, all those other living organisms inside of us as well. So that's how we become like really, really multidimensional. We don't see with our eyes all the things that's inside of us, but there is trillions living dimensions, living microorganisms inside of us, doing their own thing, living their own thing, and they where their home. So, and I wanted to show a few more images, and in this episode, I'm not gonna go so much into energy levels and all the energetic bodies around us as well, but just to show a little bit, is this is a heat image of the person. So this is how different our body parts that are cold, warm. So we have all the heat inside of us as well. And comes energy out of that heat, particles, matter, movement. We're moving inside of dimensions. Still trying to figure out how to explain it to you. When you give me questions in the comments, that helps me out. So make sure to comment and ask more questions on all the videos, and watch that other videos as well. Um, and let's now go in a bigger view of other dimensions as well, to explain what people think that dimensions, why people think dimensions are somewhere outside. Let me show this image. So this image is Earth, Moon, Sun. But just to put it in perspective, that we're thinking ourselves are just three-dimensional beings, we don't understand that in universal point of view, like that that to think of how big the universe is, and just our universe, or how we're going to take it, how big everything is, we, in this magnitude of the Earth and the space and our planets, to say that we as human are just the size of ants from our human perspective of sizes, are even, I think it's understating the fact that I think in universal point of view, we even smaller than ants. And to think of that, those tiny bacteria and microorganisms that we have inside of us are even smaller than we are. So that's how we're multidimensional, because everything is multidimensional, but we are multidimensional as well because we are not just 3D bodies. We have layers of dimensions inside of us. We have layers of dimensions outside of us, and we all part of multidimensional matter. So there's kind of the skin and our body and everything like this separates us, but same time it doesn't separate us because it all comes through inside, outside. We're always in a movement. The matter is always in a movement. We're perceiving things from outside. We're sending things to outside. So it always moves like that. So what other I wanted to say for this video? Also, what stops us understanding of how we are multidimensional as humans is this misconception that dimensions are something mystic, like that dimensions are outside of our body, that we're humans, and then after being a human there's dimensions that are like, okay, they say first dimension, second dimension, third dimension is point of view, but then they try to present it like it's somewhere outside of you, but it's not outside of us. We are part of multidimensional objects. We're a multidimensional object. Every object is multidimensional. The universe is multidimensional. Just because of our eyes, we can see first, second, and third dimension. The world, and that's also to think of that this is just the names that were labels that we as human have put to those things, those abilities of us to see first, second, and third dimension with our eye. But then with microscope, we can go to the deeper dimension, and with our knowledge, we can perceive the world as multidimensional all the time. This is the way I see the things because I have already practiced for a very long time. So for me, when I meet the person or when I'm just looking around myself, I take everything down. Let's say I meet a person, I take the person down to tiny, tiny cells, tiny microbes, microorganisms inside of them. And then from there, I put them back inside their body, I put them back in their environment, I put them back into the culture and the country they live in, and then I put them in the big sense of the perception of the whole universe. So this is what I'm me trying to explain how humans are multidimensional as well. And also another misconception is right now that's really popular with some kind of mystical fifth dimension, again, somewhere from outside of us in some magical place where they try to say that there's fifth dimension that we have to access somehow. And they kind of, I think what they're trying to get with that is they're trying to explain that multidimensional space that we are in anyways, we're part of it. It's inside, outside of us. But just to make it like some kind of mystical fifth dimension somewhere outside of us that we have to access through some kind of portals or something. That is, I don't, is something that I don't go with. It's my personal thing. I might explain it more in different videos, but this is the way it is. So, yeah, so that's kind of what I wanted to explain with this video. When you ask questions in the comments, that gives me more insight of what else you wanna learn. So leave your comments, put the likes, subscribe to the channel, look into those other episodes of multidimensional perception, and life's gonna be much more fun if you're gonna be able to see all that and um, access it and start seeing things uh, the way they are more clearly. So again, go have fun, enjoy your day, and or stay and watch more episodes. Bye.